Greetings, Daily Dose listeners. Today I wanted to go back and look at verses 17 and 18 here in Deuteronomy 7 together. And the primary reason for this is I wanted to look at this key as the protasis of the conditional. I mentioned this in the other two videos that are related to this one today, but I wanted to show it to you on the whole. So let's read this together and then look at it together. Ki tomar בלבבך רבים הגויים האלה ממני, איך אוכל להורישם, לא תראה מהם, זכור תזכור את אשר עשה אדוני אלוהיך לפרעה ולכל מצרים. So there's the whole thing again, and we would say something like, if you say in your heart, greater, notice the comparative men again, greater are these nations than me. How am I able to dispossess them? Then, and here is where we get the apodosis, then you shall not fear them. Remembering, you shall remember that which the Lord your God did to Pharaoh and to all of Egypt. And so you kind of saw in the translation there how I created the if and then. Now, key very often can introduce an if clause, but it also can be a temporal clause, something like when. And according to Arnold and Choi in the Guide to Biblical Hebrew Syntax, this distinction between a when and an if key can be very subtle. But what you find is, following the key clause, you have a very firm statement here. You shall not fear them, which becomes the either, whether you go when you say in your heart, these nations are greater than I, how can I dispossess them? You still get this firm command as the apodosis. I think this one leans more toward the conditional, but again, it's a very tricky, very subtle difference between the conditional if and the temporal when with key. In Williams' Hebrew syntax, he actually mentions that key will introduce a real condition. So it's a condition that really could happen and sometimes even is suspected to happen. And so it could be that this is the word that's used here and the construction that's used in order to say, listen, if you say in your heart these things, but I'm pretty sure you're going to say in your heart these things, I want to give you the firm command, do not fear them, but rather remember, you shall certainly remember what the Lord did to Pharaoh and to all of Egypt.